and big. They'll be coming up straight after this. I don't think there'll be too much of a break. This map's gone on, well, this match, I should say, has gone on for a little while. I'm been joined by Dust and Cash. Is the deciding battlegrounds between these two. And as you highlighted before, Dust, Cash isn't really a map that you think of first when you think of FlipSide and Gambit.
No, not at all. I don't think it's in the top 3 of either team's map pool, if we're 100% honest, so certainly makes things a little bit rougher on these two teams to kind of play on what is not very much common ground. Particularly FlipSide. I mean, from what I remember, like earlier in the year, they really did struggle on this map.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how this one's going to play off. Obviously, first map went into overtime. Second one was a bit more convincing by FlipSide, although it still went down to the wire. And now here on Cash, we will be knifing for sides.
You gonna drop some bars? Let's go.
Go on, mate. Do it.
Well, I was beatboxing. I was waiting for you to drop bars.
Mate, I'm like the whitest English man in the world. You think I can rap?
I mean, Sadicus does it. He's white and he's Canadian.
I ain't no Sadicus, bro.
Blue does it. He's white and American.
I feel like Americans and Canadians have like a better natural accent for rapping though, you know?
I have no idea where you're going with that, but alright.
Well, when I think of famous rappers, I'm thinking of like Dr. Dre, Eminem, these kind of guys, all American, right? Are there any famous English rappers?
I have no idea.
Think of any.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
It's not really my genre of music, to be honest. Anyone in chat? Any famous English rappers? Go for it. Anyway, completely off track, of course. It's been a bit of a long day. Not as long as our producer's going to get, though, because he's doing NA after this. Get completely
that's
wrecked.
what you. Okay, that's what you meant. I was like, the way you said it did not imply that at first, man. I'm glad you added some details. It sounded really bad at first.
Apparently, I'm racist for saying I'm white and can't rap. Sound.
Logical.
Nick Crompton. I don't know who that is. Meanwhile, though, we actually have a CS game to cast. Fitch and Hobbit are going to be moving into the toxic area. Dren with a headshot of his own, and Gambit already off to a pretty solid start on the pistol. That wasn't far off landing actually onto Will. Let it mow and see what he's looking for. Will needs to be very careful he doesn't get a headshot for his troubles. Markelov trying to see what he can get done. Loads of damage inflicted, and Doja has, oh, by the wayside. Dren's down to 12, waiting for the rest of his team to arrive before he starts to move in. Additionally, they have Fitch, who is making moves into main. If he gets this kill onto World Edit, and it looks pretty unlikely that FlipSide will be able to hold on to this round. It's just got a whole lot worse. It's not going to be Fitch that takes him down. It's going to be Mo instead. Markelov off the site, going to go for a peek and loses his head, as does Blade. Solid retake. FlipSide at least get a bomb plant, gives them options through into the next round.
That was pretty clean. I will say that. Not a whole lot from FlipSide on that other than the bomb plant, which will at least allow them to get that buy a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I'd expect them to see them hold off and get AKs in round 3. That seems likely, seeing as they picked up a couple of P250s and a Deeg. 3 rifles invested, 2 UMPs.
Yeah, not too much from FlipSide either. I mean, they're not making a conscious decision to go for really anything. I mean, they're just kind of playing default once more. They are gathering up now towards mid boost, so they may try to boost a couple of players over here. Putting that Deagle to use on electronic, though it's not finding any heads just yet. Though, wait a minute, let's pick up Fitch, and now that finds a kill. Are you kidding me?
Alright, Anders, chill out, mate.
Whoa.
That nade, though. Jesus. That just hit him for 95? I didn't see if World Edit had already taken damage beforehand. That nade looked like it completely wrecked it. Doja, meanwhile, takes out Blade, and World Edit, the man in question, last surviving terrorist. Hemorrhaging blood, struggling to walk. Stuck in vents. Doesn't have control of the bomb.
That took a dark turn there for a second. Like hemorrhaging, struggling to walk. Like you're just like we're just watching some hallway fight scene from Daredevil.
See, I was gonna quote that arms spaghetti thing. Arms heavy, whatever it is, and I thought what the lyrics were, so I was like, abort that. What is it? Knees heavy, arms spaghetti, or something. You see, this is why I didn't rap. This is why I can't rap.
Oh man.
Knees heavy, arms spaghetti.
Still did.
EP coming out next week.
I like how you just tried 4 different times, and each time you got a different element wrong, but corrected one other element. If you would have mixed them all together, you would have eventually gotten it. But either way, we'll see if FlipSide can eventually find themselves around. It looks like this one won't be it, as they did get that AK buy thanks to the first round bomb plant, but they've already lost 2 members. I will say last round was actually dangerously close for FlipSide. It got closer than I had hoped for. And I'm sure the same goes for Gambit, but this time they seem to be coming out pretty easily on top, though there are still 3 AKs out there that could seriously still crack this one open.
It's not completely out of the realms of possibility if Waylander can get himself a kill from this flank position. But with both Mo and Doja in A main, it's not looking too good now for the CTs, I've got to say. Waylander's round the back of them. They're going to be funneling their way out of Squeaky. They may not expect a second player. What's super surprising to me, though, is with all this confrontation going down that surely Mo could hear, they were very slow to rotate off B. There are 2 players still stuck on the site. I mean, you're putting way too much credit into that potential fake at that stage. And they're going to pay in blood. Those kills are being exchanged. It's all on Fitch. The new player, as he said, stand in there. But he's not going to be able to stand tall and deliver. Waylander takes him out 4K in the round. FlipSide on the scoreboard.
And money is in shambles for Gambit because of how much damage they took in that previous round. Even though it was like a really low buy for FlipSide, they lost 3 players, had to do a lot of rebuying. And so because of that, in this round, they will force up what they can, but it's still slim pickings. I'm trying to see if they can't reset FlipSide right back, but they don't have a whole hell of a lot to do it with. Just the 1 M4, the 1 FAMAS, and some pistols. They do get a boost over the smoke at CT, though, and they actually get the kill onto Electronics, so not too shabby. Doing something a little bit crafty there. They also did a boost into Vince as well with Hobbit. This is interesting because Adren used to play a lot of the B-bomb site with Zeus on the former lineup, but now you have the new player Fitch playing with Hobbit, who usually plays A with Dozia. So a lot of CT position swapping going on here for Gambit today with this new addition to the team. So I wonder if that can kind of unsettle them a bit on how they're rotating like you were talking about in the last round.
And that's the importance of having a player, especially your in-game leader, a very vocal in-game leader, a motivator too, can have multiple different variable effects on your team as a whole. And we could be just seeing them slightly showing themselves at the moment. It's going to take a while before everything fits into place. If Adren is now leading, of course, his leadership change is going to be something that the rest of Gambit need to get used to as well. The time being, though, will that it's going to get a freebie onto Mo, who is jumping around like a rabbit on the site. Hobbit's going to be able to get the free kill onto Waylander, though, as well. The bomb's dropped out in mid. Will that it's at least able to silence Hobbit before he can tee off for another kill. And Fitch, this is such an awkward fight, and somehow they're both still alive. How is Fitch still alive in this round and long enough to actually get the kill onto World Edit alongside Adren? 4 players remain, 2 aside. 13 seconds left. That Molotov was forced to run out into the opening. He'll add 1 frag. Not able to get the second, but has he bought up enough time to stop this bomb plant? It's going to be very close, but I think he has.
Oh,
I think he actually just got about that. Oh, Molotov managed to get the plant. That has to be incredibly close. Is Doja still going to claim this round, though, for Gambit? The answer is yes, but Markelov with the clutch plant at least yields them a bit of money. Gambit get the round all the same.
Yeah, that had to come down to the wire, man. That was a buzzer beater bomb plan. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't matter. It's still a round going over to Gambit, but at least that extra cash comes in for FlipSide. Can't really do much with it this round, but it can make sure they get a better buy going into the next one. I doubt they're gonna. I mean, they could sit by a little bit, but I doubt you see them go heavy with armor and things of that nature.
I was watching that plant on the stream back there. That was as close as you could possibly ask for that from Markelov's plant. That was nuts. But the X squad has delivered once again. We'll put Gambit into a bite against FlipSide on pistols. They do have Kevlar and Electronic. If they can get a weapon into his hands, I'm sure big things will happen. Waylander, no dice on the B site. Shut down. We'll be funneling out of Garage towards A main, but Adren's laid there and wait. Crosshair primed. Decides better of it, actually backs away instead. Hobbit's doing the rest in mid. They do have a UMP, but no Kevlar, and Mo's taking that off the table. This round looks to be going convincingly in the end to Gambit. A couple of hiccups, a couple of bumps along the way, but they've got the job done. It was 2 players in the end.
So a pretty clean round this time from Gambit, as they only suffer a couple of casualties in that round, so rebuying won't be too much of a factor. Full buy coming out of FlipSide, though Blade will have to take a Galil just to make sure he can get a full utility set, so a little bit of a sacrifice in firepower for him, but otherwise it's pretty good. They will not have an NWP for World Edit either. Let's see what they want to do. Again, usually a fairly slower default team. Everyone's in their default positions, typically Waylander B, Markelov A, Dora, so that's all the same. Well, we'll be out middle here. Electron actually did get up to highway box, but Hobbit does catch the bomb, drops it. Someone's going to have to come back for that, and Hobbit will be able to get eyes on it. Well, Dozier realized Electronic's so up close, so that's going to be a... Yep. Answer your question for me. As soon as it came out my mouth, it was over. Take with that what you will, Vince. Don't even want to know what you were cooking up for that. Yeah. No one gets that, dude. You gotta stop.
Okay. Probably for the best. Markelov and Waylander. Still no control of the bomb. Counter boost from the CT is going to yield them a kill onto Markelov, and, well, with that kill, the round would surely follow. Waylander could maybe snake his way around the back of Connector and cause Fitch an issue or two. But of course, the timing is everything. And it goes the way of Gambit. 5-1. Dominant start to Cash.
Yeah, I mean, some of these rounds have been a little bit close as far as how many numbers fell for Gambit in the process, but that one was really clean, only losing a single player. Getting FlipSide back onto a save, a chance to get another clean round, and really start building up that bank. So the CT side of Gambit has done really well, particularly handling some of this mid-control from FlipSide. As again, we will see FlipSide open up default, but they have a bit more of a lean towards mid-garage and B, so maybe a mid-B split in the cards. But Fitch, peeking out, finds Waylander. Okay.
That's your teammate Fitch.
Yep.
Hobbit doesn't really want any extra bullets on his head. Oh, how is that happening? FlipSide, you just allowed him to walk straight up and wreck 2 of you. Ah! The spray, a little bit laboured, but Fitch gets it done. Didn't even lose a point of health, actually. I'm really surprised by that, but it was against pistols at the end of the day.
Yep, so it will be 6-1 for Gambit, really building up a big lead here on the CT side of Cash, but FlipSide will be back onto a full buy, full utility sets, plenty of head armor.
One of the worrying signs here, Dust, is that Electronic, who is has been consistently a beast for FlipSide, even on the first map that they lost, Overpass, he's 1-7. He's actually bottom of the entire team. And he has consistently been the guy that's strung them through these difficult rounds by just getting kills out of nowhere, getting spree killings going his way. If he has a quiet third map, this match is over.
He's also just a more active player for FlipSide on this map. That you have to. I mean, he's more of an entry type guy here rather than like a peripheral player. He's very focused on mid control and A attack, so they need him to shine through. But well, Waylander are the ones doing the heavy lifting in this round. They already have a couple of kills, but Adren and Mo reeling it back in so rapidly it shifts back to Gambit. Waylander trying his damnedest to keep them in this, and Markelov is aiding in that, as now actually Adren's alone in a 1v2.
Good old style points with the kill, inspect the weapon. Have to pay respects. Adren coming up highway. Markelov going to go for the plant. Will be a successful plant at that. Adren is maybe going to get the drop on Waylander, but again the timing. This time working against Gambit. And FlipSide have picked up a second, and Waylander was really the key man. He picked up 3 in that round.
That was a roller coaster ride of a round, because Waylander gets the opening kill on the B side of the map. I believe World Edit got an entry on the A-bomb side, so they had a quick 5-on-3, but then 3 kills come out from Gambit. Mo with the AWP, as well as one other player involved in that, and so then all of a sudden Gambit has a man advantage, and then right after that, though, FlipSide responds again, Waylander coming up through middle. So big stuff there, but the double lock setup is in effect for Gambit. Hobbit has the second one over at B. He already finds a kill. Adren using that flash to chase down a frag. Almost had Electronic dead to rights, but Electronic holding down mouse 1 while blind catches Adren, who had low HP. So we have an early 4-on-4. Focus on A for FlipSide now. No one left towards B.
As you say, it's early, and Gambit don't have nades and 3 players. They're all on Fitch. Dojia's going to alleviate some of the pressure, looking for a second. Electronic is up to the task, does lose the bulk of his health, down to just 12. And that's up to Fitch, the one player with nades and the assault rifle. Try and make something happen from high away. That nade's a little bit too early to claim the life of the likes of Electronic, but did do a bit of chip damage. And Fitch has the right idea. He's going to pull the trigger. The bomb's been dropped out. Onside blade. Fitch with a second. Continuing to impress. Gambit have broke FlipSide once again. A couple of these players have nothing to use at all. 1500 for World Edit.
Yeah, the harsh reset coming in when you're already well behind spells doom for FlipSide, as they will go ahead and get a couple of P250s here. Electronic will get armor behind his and a couple of flashbangs. He had the most money, so he was able to spend a little bit more. Trying to see if he can't buff himself out a bit, but still not a whole lot. They're just going to try to YOLO up middle. Adren will be here with the AK. Mo has his AWP in position as well, and they will line him up and mow them down. As it will be 8-2 for Gambit, but FlipSide will be able to get back into a bye here, but it still won't be the best. No AWP, limited utility, Galeos are going to be out. Going to be a tough one for him.
Now, this is all as a result of getting their economy broken down. Not really getting any kills afterwards. MP7, 3 Galils, no nades on Markelov because he went for the AK. Bare bones, a bargain bucket buy on FlipSide. They are going to look to maybe execute off onto the A side. All 5 players around the same vicinity, with World Edit just watching the flank with Blade. Moving through the Molotov, that could have caught Dojia off guard. He's only going to get 1. Hobbit does come to the rescue with an AWP frag afterwards. They will maintain the player advantage. The bomb's also dropped out on A site, and there's no real hope of anyone getting close to this one. Blade's going to try and roll the dice and see what comes up. It's going to be Snake Eyes as Hobbit puts him down. We'll let it through mid. It's going to meet the same fate, this time to the hands of Mo. And Electronic, good luck to you, sir, because this is looking like it's almost impossible. As good as he is, he's asking so much. There's a second kill, 24 health though. That being said, with both players on an AWP, the health doesn't matter quite as much from an Electronic's perspective. Of course, he doesn't necessarily know that. He's landed a third! Is he about to make the impossible possible? Is the miracle play forthcoming? He's had a bit of a quiet cache. He's going to go around and peek, and he's going to get AWP'd by Mo. Great try, though, by Electronic, and he's, if nothing else, he's hurt the economy a bit more from Gambit, because they're going to have to replenish 4 weapons now.
Yep, it is FlipSide just not finding all that they needed. Blade on 1 frag. He's definitely had a tougher time in this one. Electronic started to wake up, but it still hasn't really done enough. And so Gambit continued to roll out the big lead again. We're going to have another eco push coming in, but Fitch has already found the mark on 1 player with that grenade. Spots Markelov as well. We'll have no trouble finishing him off. Electronic does find one out here in the middle of P250, but Hobbit is very quick to trade, and so this round is all but in the books, and Gambit will find 10. So off to a hot start here on Cash.
A massacre. This time it's Fitch on the B sides through checkers. It was an eco. I get too carried away by that, but still, you can only kill what's ahead of you, and he did that with pixel perfect precision. All done it with an AWP. Yeah, FlipSide have looked a little bit toothless on this T half, it has to be said. They haven't offered too much.
And it's certainly true, but they'll have another crack at it here. They actually have World Edit on an AWP for, I think, the first time this happened. I don't recall them really having it, but it won't really amount to much. Will it Fitch pushing up on the smoke at B? Lobby finds 2 early kills, just like last round. As we noted, the newcomer Fitch has certainly done his job throughout this series, it feels like. He hasn't really been lacking for anything.
Yeah, again, he's impressing, 15 and 5.
That's the thing, I was looking at his numbers before he joined the team, and obviously that doesn't really tell you everything, and I mean, they weren't really that crazy, so I wasn't really sure what to expect from him, but he's been good in this best of 3 at least.
I suppose in terms of numbers, sometimes it depends on who you're playing with as well. If they give you the opportunity to leapfrog and reach your potential. But I don't want to base everything off just this one best of 3 against FlipSide. You know, they're not a top tier team.
Let's see how he does tomorrow.
Exactly.
They wind up getting into the semis.
If Gambit take the semis, let's see how they do against Big or Nip. You know, and in the future as well, then I'll make a judgment call. But he definitely has been impressive, that's for sure. This was a rifle round, and FlipSide have just been... They've just been given the pipe. What can you say?
What can you say to that? I don't even know how to respond.
The thickest of pipes, mate.
Just keeps it going.
As does the pipe. Anywho, 3 Galils and 2 AKs.
Yep, just watch that bus fall on you, man. That's what I'm here for, just to spectate.
And now switching it up with aggression, Fitch. Of course, we hype him up when he gets wrecked off a whiff spray. Casting curse is real. Not that it seems to matter to the rest of his team. 4 on 2. We'll get the drop onto Doja. He's preoccupied with A main. Nice play by Adren. And this seeming like FlipSide are going to go out with a whimper after really fighting back on that second map. Even taking the first map to its limit. This is going to be a very disappointing end to this best of 3 if FlipSide aren't able to step it up a few notches.
This has definitely been a big change of pace from what we saw in the previous maps where things were a much closer. Gambit has really stormed out in front and they really haven't looked back. FlipSide have never found their footing in this half, and now they'll try something completely different. They're going to try to throw in a curveball, try to go heavy squeaky door. A main push though comes in from Dozier, takes down Blade, going to make things a bit more difficult, but Markelov and company are at least trading their way into maybe a bomb plant. Waylander will help add on to it, and they actually have an advantage now, and the bomb is definitely going to get planted now. It's going to be up to Gambit whether or not they can make the retake work.
I've seen them retake so many times on the CT side on Cash. Wouldn't put it past him doing it again, but Electronic awakening from his slumber for a 3k at the end. He started very poorly. He was on 1 and 7 at one stage, finished 11 and 14. Still not great, but notable improvements. But even then, his team still trail by 12 to 3. Hard to really get too hyped about this now.
Being a lost pistol round pretty much spells the end of FlipSide being in this qualifier, you have to imagine. So we'll see what they have in store for us here, as while Gambit have a huge lead, still is a little bit of chance maybe for FlipSide and their CT side to get something going. We'll just have to see what's in store for their T side. Again, I've been seeing them swap around a lot of different positions on what we've seen so far throughout this best of 3 to accommodate Fitch and also to accommodate Adren's new in-game leading duties. So I'll be curious to see what tweaks they make on this map. Again, they themselves were always typically kind of a slower default team on this map as well. So we'll see if that pattern holds true. As we get into the pistol, Gambit looking to knock on the door of that A-bomb site. Speaking of doors, Squeaky Door will be their primary focus. 3 players here heading into the hallway.
Yep, 3 Squeaky, 2 main. Bomb carrier Hobbit is the first player out. The players have been spotted in amongst the smoke. Team's just using that smoke as somewhat of a gateway onto the site now. Adren onto Blade. There's still going to be Electronic just chilling in amongst all the action. He's going to pick up 2 kills. He's not able to stop the bomb plant. But now it puts so much pressure on the rest of the terrace, they're going to have to funnel through and make sure it's not being defused. And Mo is a country mile away from stopping this defuse now. He's going to be coming around the corner. There's Markelov to take him out of his misery. And Electronic just playing hide and seek in the smoke. Somehow survives the round and picks up 2 for his troubles.
Yeah, he was certainly making a BDP there. No doubt about it. Just waiting out in the smoke, waiting for the right moment to strike, finding the perfect window, perfect opportunity, and he is going to be rewarded for it with a round victory based off of his kills mostly. But there still is a long road to travel for FlipSide to get back into cash. They still are well behind. Gambit still 8 ahead. And we'll go ahead and save up for the next round. They got that bomb plant, so they'll be able to get AKs in the next. So just go for P250s here. 1 Deagle on a Dren. But they are just kind of spreading out the map right now. Not really bought into anything just yet.
Waylander must be able to hear the jumping up and down, bunny hopping Hobbit. It's more of a fake than anything else. It's more of a ruse. The bomb is heading towards main. Still so many options available for Gambit with a minute. Whether those options will prove to be fruitful is another matter entirely. As you say, Dust, they don't have much in this round, just a Deagle and P250s. They're up against 2 SMGs, which will be hungry for the opportunity to get some farming in effect. Electronic from quad, rain down 2, make that 4 as they line up for him. 2 of them headshots. And now Adren with his Deagle, what can he get done? Only the 1 kill. So Gambit now have a 7-round buffer, and they should be coming through into this with AKs.
Yeah, that's the second ace for Electronic in this series. So, shout to him. Of course, easier one. That was kind of just an eco mow down, but nonetheless, he does find the 5 frags. And so, FlipSide do skate to 5 rounds. But Gambit will be on the buy this one with the AKs. Limited utility, but head armor is there on everyone. So, it'll just really come down to whether or not they can outpull their opponents in a situation where they don't have many nades to work with. Some spam being attempted by Fitch, but he's not going to find any damage as Markelov does move up close with that M4 under the boost. Blade will just kind of slide out here from highway bots. Adren is boosted. Does come out, does spot Markelov, reacts with the headshot. Well done.
Blade of the second, keeping the aspirations of FlipSide alive for time being.
Yeah, man, if you wouldn't have got those 2 kills, you would have thought he wasn't even on the server.
Pushes out to the AK as well. Waylander's going to have some action onto Hobbit, and lands the headshot. Will let it picks off Doshi. It's just going wrong across the board. Gambit can't get anything to stick, really. The only saving grace that Mo has is he has the bomb under his control. It's not out on the likes of A. He doesn't have to retake the site and pick the bomb up. So maybe he can work some magic. Catch some players in transition. Catch them off guard. There's one that he spotted, but it is Electronic, and I'm not sure you want to get it into a long-range duel against Electronic. He could punish you. The other downside now is he's given his position away, and the cavalry is starting to arrive. Blade on highway box. A lot of that time has now been dwindled away. It's been eaten away. 22 seconds. Needs to make a judgment call. Do I go all in and try and get kills and die before time, or do I camp and try and save the AK? It seems like he's going to go for the kills, and Blade will push him towards death. 12-6.
So a hat trick from Blade gets him on the scoreboard a bit more, and now FlipSide have kind of half the gap a little bit here. They've gotten 3 in a row. They need 6 more, though, still to tie this thing up. That's just how far behind they were. Luckily, in this round, Gambit have very little to work with, so a good chance they'll find the 7th. Just the P250s and the Deagle from Adren looking to do a B-bomb site rush. There are 2 players in position. It's going to be Markelov and Waylander. Blade rotating around from middle as well. Able to find the kill, so keeps the man advantage here for FlipSide, but it is Waylander stranded here at the B-bomb site right now. Getting caught in the headshot angle. Roll that it does rotate heaven to find 1, but kills are coming off here, and there was a little bit of a window for a bomb plant, but now it's gone, it seems.
Should we mention, though, that although Mo doesn't have Kevlar or the bomb, Blade's on 14 health and he's on a 1-on-2. I mean, this is doable. Especially if he plays the patience game and tries to rotate around the back, which I'm pretty sure is what he's doing right now. So if he can come up behind Heaven...
He's actually done this really fast, by the way. I don't think enough time has passed for FlipSide to even think this is happening.
Exactly. Now Blade started to realize it's a very real possibility this is about to happen. The downside for Mo is he has no idea where the last remaining player is and will let it. Saw the barrel. I think he picked the AWP up and saw the barrel of the AWP sticking out the wall. That was all he needed. So, the buffer, this came down to 5. Still Gambit well and truly in the driver's seat, but they're going to start to look over their shoulder a little bit and feel FlipSide breathing down their necks.
This is the first real buy that they've had, though, to be fair. Like, the first time they bought, they didn't have any utility, right? So at least this time around, they actually have some nades to use to actually work some map control, to actually work out some type of execute, so that gives them a lot more options to do something on their T side. As smoke comes out to extinguish the flames, that allows them to get out boost quickly. They get Markelov pinned down at sandbags, and Fitch will eliminate him with the headshot. So again, Fitch has been taking a lot of entry duties here, and he's done well with it.
Yeah, it seems like they have lacked a bit of entry power on the T side so far, so maybe that's where Fitch can really step things up. Oh, Blade, be careful. Peek just before the smoke. Really started to plume out. Nearly cost him his life. B certainly seems the site that Gambit have their sights on. Just Waylander's here for the time being, although Blades will be there shortly. He's already made the rotation from the connector. He's going to get smoked out, though. Waylander out into the open. He had to. There's a Molotov right underneath him. Pick your poison, bullets or Molotov. And Gambit will get the bomb plant. This is by far their best chance. And I think FlipSide already have half a mind to save. Their economy's not in great shape. No one can really afford to buy apart from Waylander in the next round if they don't save these weapons. So saving the weapons is absolutely crucial, and will let it's lost his life. And Blade may be soon to follow if he pokes back out again. He must realize his player's behind him now from the CT side. He's gone down. Electronic now, the last line of defense, saving any weapons. Goes to the spray. Tries to reset the spray, but Doge is having none of it. FlipSide will not save a single weapon. And now they are straight up broke. Only Waylander can even get any kind of a purchase going. Maybe he'll drop pistols. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, really well done there by Gambit. Just getting that mid control, getting that initial pick on Markelov, just isolating Markelov in the sandbags. Blade was cut off by a smoke, couldn't really help him out. No one was really there Highway either. And once Gambit had mid control and the man advantage, they just kind of put a little bit of pressure at Highway, keeping A players in place, and then splitting B pretty decisively. So just good, you know, good way of leveraging your advantage when you get that early pick. And no guns saved, as you noted, so FlipSide are just on, you know, low basic pistols right now. It's easy pickings for Gambit all across the map. Only lose one player thus far, and it may not be much more than that, to be honest, as that bomb will make its way into a freebie bomb site. As Adren pushes through to catch Electronic in the back at Truck. And so round number 14 is all but on the board, with Gambit building up a substantial bank now as well, thanks to this clean win.
Oh, we'll let it.
Glock's
going to get the job done with the sidearm after whipping the upshot. Just 2 rounds shy of securing their position in the semi-finals. We'll find out who they're playing against later on this evening. Big and Nip are going to be facing off against each other in the final quarterfinals of this evening here on the EU side. The NA side is also starting, I believe, around the same time.
Yeah.
Cloud9 have their match.
I think it's already started, or it should have started. We'll start. There's a second stream that you guys can pop up. I'm sure you can find in the Counter-Strike section. I think it might be ESL underscore CSGO B, maybe? I have no idea. Apparently I nailed it. Thank you, producer Prius.
Let's see. Maybe if Cloud9 can qualify, they'll play one of these two teams in New York. Everything goes according to plan. 4 for Masses with an M4. Just the one kit. Fluid rotations. FlipSide putting a third player on A. Just in time, it would appear, because now the guillotine's about to come down on the A site. Gambit are moving in inch by inch. Getting the kills where it counts, and Adren's going to go ahead and take down Electronic. Nice shot by Mo onto Blade, completely destroying him. That's all the A defense down. Flashbang, destroying Markov as well. Couldn't see a single thing. And there's the headshot from Doja onto Truck. 8 match points for Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing special about that. Just a decisive execute by Gambit, using a lot of utility, though, to flush out all positions. I mean, they made sure no one's going to be quad or fence, making sure all they had to worry about was, like, forklift and the site itself, and they were able to handle forklift push pretty well. Particularly Mo getting that close range op shot really helped things along as well to kind of steal the deal that they would get the site. Cutting off the mid rotation was also pretty key in the end as well. Getting that kill onto Markolov, and now we could be watching the last round of this series as Gambit just one away from securing their spot in the semis tomorrow. Electronic trying to respond, trying to keep them alive here as he does take down Adren up close with that CZ, but he's low on HP now. And Dozier may look to get the trade as he also spots World Edit scout over here at Highway and takes him out. Now looks for Electronic. Electronic still finding kills. Still alive somehow.
Yeah, I don't think they expected him to be below boost when they're getting peeked off World Edit on the Highway box. That bait is going to prove to be successful on that confrontation, but elsewhere Gambit have had everything going their way. Not just in terms of kills, they're a player up, but also the fact they've got onto the B site. They're about to get the bomb planted. So now the stress, the pressure shifts from the terrorists onto the CTs. I'm pretty sure the player in Useless, which is Mo, just heard Blades run for a couple of seconds there onto Vents. Yep. That call's going to be coming in, and the trade is going to be a good one for Gambit. It's all on Electronic. He has 12 health and a scout. Chances somewhere between slim and none. He's got the first one, though, to be fair. I mean, we've seen him pull off clutches, but not today. Mo will deny him. And that will be Gambit finalizing their position in the semi-finals.
Yep, there you have it. It will be Gambit moving on. Of course, on the other side of the bracket, it is Envy taking on G2 for semifinal number 1. Semifinal number 2 is going to be Gambit. Still be up against the winner of our next matchup, which will be Big versus NIP. Of course, NIP fresh off of some new roster changes, particularly the recent addition of Rez. Big off the back of securing legend status at the major with some great work in the group stages, and we're competitive against the finalists and Immortals in that best of 3 to get that top 8. So those will be the teams we're looking to watch. I think it'll start in about 10 minutes or so. So stay tuned, folks. We will be back. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi everyone. If you're looking for the Cloud9 L4 org match, please tune into twitch.tv/ESL_CSGOB.